What a week it has been. I was hoping to do a fun little video with the foster puppies, but they have had quite the case of bad luck. They are fine. Everyone's doing okay, but we discovered shortly after taking them in, ringworm. Shockingly, I've never seen it myself, even after so many foster puppies and kittens, so come along with me to learn about it. This video will be two parts. The first part will be a recap of everything that's happened so far, and in the second part I'll show what one full day with these puppies looks like. Where we left off last time, 8 foster puppies were brought to me. This group is being fostered through Pups Without Borders in Los Angeles. Their first day here was so rainy. We got very little time with them outside of the puppy house, but I did notice immediately that they had yellowish runny poop, parasites. Let the rescue know and we got them on meds that night. The second day we had some sun. My fiance and I were hanging out with the puppies in the yard, just having a great time watching the kids play. We start getting to know them. We noticed that the smallest of them, Nugget, was always the instigator, starting trouble with everybody. And that's when it happens. We see a crusty spot on Nugget. Send a picture to the rescue and they say, that's ringworm. Ringworm is a fungal infection. It is contagious to both humans and animals. It can be passed on through direct contact or touching contaminated objects and surfaces like blankets, bowls, brushes, furniture, etc. On dogs, spots with hair loss, typically circular in shape, are a common sign of ringworm. It can also be found by using a black light in a dark room where an infected spot will appear neon green or pink. It is treated with antifungal shampoo, creams, sulfur spray, antifungal oral medications, and lots of cleaning. I can't believe I hadn't seen it before in my almost 6 years of fostering. I am obviously not an expert on this subject as I have no prior experience with ringworm. I'm just sharing my experience now and what I've learned so far. So we started taking all the necessary precautions, cleaning everything they've touched, everything we've touched, and using gloves to handle the puppies. We checked the others for spots, sending pictures to the rescue to get their opinion. We find that more than just the one has evidence of ringworm, but for all others besides Nugget, their spots were much smaller. On the morning of the third day, someone from the rescue came over with a black light so we could check them all more thoroughly. If they have a spot on them, it could glow neon green or pink. 5 puppies had evidence of ringworm, sadly, and went back to the rescue for treatment. This isn't the worst situation. It's treatable. It's just a bummer for the poor pups. And it is a pain in the butt to treat. The puppies that went back to the rescue are separated from other dogs, and they have a whole system for handling ringworm there. They know what they're doing. They get an antifungal cream on any ringworm spots that they have twice a day. They get an oral medication, sulfur spray every 5 days, and baths with a special antifungal shampoo every 2 to 3 days. I started doing the baths and the sulfur spray with the 3 puppies that I had left here as a precaution in hopes that they wouldn't catch the ringworm, but obviously they still could. It's very contagious. By the way, that sulfur spray makes them stink like rotten eggs. I'm lucky to be able to have them outside in the yard where they can air out when we have to do that. Despite our best efforts, the rest of the puppies did eventually show signs of ringworm. There was some back and forth. One of the 5 puppies that went to the rescue initially was cleared of ringworm and brought back here to join the others that were still clear at the time, but then the others did show signs, so she was at risk of catching it again. I've tried to make this video before, even filmed what I thought was the whole thing just to be hit with something new the next day. It keeps changing, but I'm going to show what the current process is. One full day of treating these puppies with ringworm. I wake up, brush my teeth, put my eyes in, put on gloves, and head out to the yard. I'm going right to the puppy house to bring the 3 that we currently have to the puppy yard, which is this little fenced-in space separated from the main yard. First is Squish, then Precious, then Boo Boo. I'll give them some breakfast, and while they chow down, I'll clean the puppy house, starting by bringing all of their bedding and pads out and throwing away the newspaper where they do their business. Now I'll spray the floors with cleaner and scrub any spots where they may have pooped. I take a rag, or you can use a Swiffer or something similar to wipe up the whole floor. Next, I'll spray the whole area down with rescue disinfectant to kill any bacteria and diseases. Set a timer and let that sit for 10 minutes. While the puppy house is marinating, I'll put antifungal cream on any puppies with ringworm spots. Also checking for any new spots. Once the disinfectant has done its job, I'll take another rag and wipe the whole floor again. I've mentioned before there is a dog door that connects the puppy house to their separate yard. I'm not using it this time because this group is obsessed with trying to pull down the clear vinyl on the walls and get to the drywall, specifically on that side of the shed and also by the main door, which is why I have the playpen covering most of the walls. It's just easier in this case to carry them in and out. It's only a few puppies, and this way they aren't trying to get back in while I'm cleaning, since they don't really know the purpose of the dog door. Once the puppy house is cleaned and disinfected, I'll start a load of laundry. I'm typically doing 1 load of laundry per day with the bedding, rags, sometimes toys. I'm using bleach and running a hot water cycle to make sure the bedding is disinfected. While that's running, I'll set up the puppy house with new clean pads, bedding, and newspapers. I like to use newspapers and washable pads instead of the single-use ones. It's just less waste. I'll hang out with the puppies while the laundry finishes, and once it's done, I'll hang it up to dry. I'm just hanging it on the fence. The clothing line that I had disintegrated, which is very cool and funky fresh, but this works just fine for now. At this point, the puppies have been out for about 2 hours. I'll bring them back in their house to rest for a while. The second time I go out is usually just to play, do another newspaper swap, and another meal. I'll bring them out to their little yard, set out some kibble, and while they eat, I'll clean the puppy house wherever needed. If it's a sulfur spray day or a bath day, this is typically the time I would do that. Today is a bath day. They had a bath 2 days ago, so it's time for another. They hate baths, and they really suck in this case because we have to leave the shampoo on them for 10 minutes. So I'll put them in this little tub one at a time, lather them up, and put them back in their yard for 10 minutes. Once the timer is up, I'll rinse them off and then put them back in the yard, towel dry them, and let them dry off the rest of the way while they play. The final 2 times I take the puppies out are a bit shorter since it's usually dark at this point, and once the sun goes down, they're like, "Why are we out here?" And I couldn't agree more. I'll try to get them to play a little, eat, maybe spend 15-20 minutes out, and then bring them back in the puppy house. After the final break in the yard, I apply the cream to those who need it, bring them back in, make sure the heater is working, and tell them they are so loved and will be cured of ringworm soon and then adopted. After their last time outside for the night, I spray down the yard with a sanitizer that kills viruses and bacteria so it's nice and clean for the next morning when we do it all again. We had the puppies here out in the main yard originally, which is on the other side of this fence, but once they all showed signs of ringworm, we brought them in here in the puppy yard. We thought it would be better to keep everything kind of contained to just the puppy house and this smaller yard. Today is actually my last day with these puppies. These 3 are going back to the rescue today to join the others in continuing the full ringworm treatment. I should probably mention these kids' names. We learned their names just before half of them left, but the ones we currently have are Squish. She's a master of this move where they pretend like they're ignoring you and then out of nowhere, bam! Squish has a spot with ringworm between her toes, and she had one on her ear that has pretty much cleared up. Boo Boo! This puppy will 100% be a couch potato. Such a lap dog. Boo Boo has a ringworm spot in the same place as Squish, in between her toes. And Precious. Precious little lady city, population 1 over here. But who are we kidding? They are all precious. This is the puppy that was at the rescue for treatment and then came back here once she was clear of ringworm. She does not currently have any signs of ringworm, but she still gets all the rest of the treatment besides the cream to hopefully prevent her from getting it again. The others currently at the rescue are Bean, Bubba, Nugget, Chunk, and Peanut. I don't think I'll see the whole group here again, since by the time they're done with treatment, they'll be very much ready for adoption. But who knows? If the rescue needs space, and depending on how long the treatment takes, they may come back. I am sad to have to send them back to the rescue. I love seeing fosters go off to their forever homes. I was told that for the whole group of 8 puppies, they already had 11 applications, which is so great. Hopefully we can do something more fun in the next video with the next group of fosters. Or perhaps we'll be seeing this group again. And until then, ta-ta. Say bye, kids. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye-bye-bye.